Look, I did not want to make this video. I didn't want to start any drama with Crossover Movie Studios. I don't want to have to do this. I don't like to be in the middle of drama. I wanted to work this out. I tried working this out, but I know you're watching this crossover, Nick Hicks, Frozen 2 fan, whoever. I know you're watching this and you're gonna leave a dislike, and say worst video ever. And before you do that, I just want to say, crossover, you brought this on yourself. If you would have not been as childish as you were about the situation, then I wouldn't have to be making this video. But since you've been so immature and childish about this and you've spread bullshit rumors about this, I'm gonna have to make this. I have to call you out. So if you do not know, there was a teen comedy movie called Booksmart. It was released in 2019 and it was received with a lot of praise and all that stuff, and a lot of people really liked it, myself included. Spider-Bar, a good friend of mine on YouTube, made a "What do you think of this movie" video on Booksmart about like a year ago, and I don't have the footage of this comment. I don't have any screenshots, but I can prove it later on. But Crossover Movie Studios said it was overrated and gave it a 2 out of 10. Now, continuing off of that, Crossover then deletes the comment and says haven't seen it. So basically just admitting that he lied about watching the movie, and not only that, he called it overrated without even watching it. So obviously Spider-Bart and a few other friends on YouTube called him out for it and said they wasn't anything too harsh. It was just basically stating facts, like, yeah, he did lie about it and he shouldn't have, and it was kind of stupid. So why is this important? Well, that brings you to the present day. A year later, Crossover Movie Studios finally decides to watch the movie and he hates it. Well, that's fine, but it's pretty obvious that he wanted to hate it because he already called it overrated a year ago before watching it. Anyways, in this review, he randomly calls Spider-Bart an asshole, even though Spider-Bart didn't even do anything wrong. Now, continuing off of that, I told Crossover Movie Studios that he shouldn't have been such an asshole to Spider-Bart when Spider-Bart didn't even do anything wrong. And then he proceeds to make this review. He makes a review basically just shitting on Spider-Bart and saying that he quote-unquote rewatched the film and now he likes it now. Wow, what a coincidence. Anyways, in this review, a lot of his statements are clearly just making him the victim here and painting Spider-Bart as the villain when Spider-Bart did nothing wrong other than call him out on some stuff, and he wasn't even being rude about it. In this review, I find it so hilarious how Crossover Movie Studio says, well, I didn't mean to lie to you, when how could you lie about watching a movie? If you watched it, then you know you watched it. How can you lie about that? There is no other movie called Booksmart. I literally Googled that. There's no way you could have gotten it confused. He also said that Spider-Bart said that he lied about watching Sausage Party and judged it without watching it, even though if you looked at the comments, Spider-Bart asked if he did. I also find it funny that Frozen 2 fan, who also hates Spider-Bart, is literally agreeing with him in this comment thread, but whatever. It's clear that Spider-Bart wasn't actually being a jerk or anything. He was calling him out for something that he shouldn't have done, and it was pretty ridiculous of him to even do in the first place. And it's even more ridiculous for him to handle this really childishly and make all these posts about him and talk shit about him and even tell him to go suck his cock in a YouTube video. For this Instagram post, I pretty much just have the same things to say about it. It's pretty childish, and he really just has no reason to bring this up. He shouldn't have lied about it, and Spider-Bart wasn't even being an asshole about it. I also find it funny how he says leave users alone if you hate them, when he's literally bringing up a situation that happened a year ago that was literally his fault. It's also very obvious that a lot of his opinions aren't even original, and he probably doesn't watch a lot of movies that he claims to have watched on Letterboxd, and he just copies Frozen 2 fan and Nick Hicks opinions. It's also very clear that he didn't watch the 2017 sci-fi sequel titled Blade Runner 2049, and it's very obvious that he's just copying Frozen 2 fan, because in his review that's very vague and says nothing about the movie other than its visuals and cinematography, which are stuff they've heard praised by many different critics, so it's very obvious that he's not original. And when he was asked what his favorite scene in the movie was, he just puts a scene that he already put inside of a playlist and can't even remember the main characters' names of one of his favorite movies of all time, which is a little suspicious. Overall, this video is not meant to spread hate. I don't recommend that you spread hate to him. I'd rather you just say constructive criticism. But otherwise, I don't really have much else to say. Crossover Movie Studios clearly lied about watching these movies and also copies Frozen 2 fans and Nick Cake's opinions on a lot of things. And he's being an asshole to Spider-Bart for no reason other than the fact that he's salty that he got called out for not watching a movie and overrating it and giving it a 2 out of 10 without even seeing it. So yeah, I don't really know how to end this video, but thank you for watching, I guess. And don't worry, I will be doing a video on Frozen 2 fan, but that's going to be a much longer video, trust me.